Hello there. Today I want to talk about the power of your story. One of the things I see with many of the clients I work with is that they have difficulty owning and articulating their story. And yet it's one of the most foundational things you can do to dig out and find and identify your successes, the obstacles you've overcome, your wins, your losses, your triumphs. One of the most foundational exercises, and I see many people avoid that. But what I've seen is those who have difficulty owning and articulating their story have difficulty selling themselves on a resume, on their LinkedIn profile, in cover letters, or in interviews. So there's power to owning your story, to identifying the golden nuggets in your story. Why? Because human beings are hardwired for story. Anything interesting, anything that fascinates us is passed down through story. So many cultures in the world haven't got some of the technology that we currently have, and yet they pass down the cultural history through story. So human beings are hardwired for story. We relate to it. We love stories. So I want you to get really comfortable owning your story, digging into your story for the golden nuggets, the times when you overcame, whether it's professionally or personally, where you achieved professionally or personally. Because I want you to remember that in order for you to be relatable, you don't only want to pull anecdotes from your professional life. Sometimes it's your personal life that is the connector to the interviewer or the hiring person. I'll give you an example. I was interviewing a guy many years ago when I was hiring in corporate, and I could see he was struggling to articulate something or an example from his professional story. I didn't say anything, but he eventually made the switch in his own brain and answered the question. And I think the question was something like, tell me about an achievement you're proud of. And I think he may have drawn a blank, couldn't think of something from his professional story, but switched to a personal story and spoke about coaching a community soccer team, and that the team was at the bottom of the ladder that particular season, and how he coached that team to victory. And he gave examples of some of the things he did to uplift that team. I was super impressed with the story. I ended up giving the guy the job because him switching to a personal story showed me a couple of things about him. One, that he was a contributor, that he was a leader in the community, that he was contributing and giving. Two, that he had the ability to think on his feet. When he couldn't think of the professional example, he switched to the personal example. And that he had uplifted a team. Doesn't matter how we uplift teams, if you can do it in your personal life or in a personal setting or in a professional setting, the bottom line is you have the ability, you have tools, you have ideas to uplift teams. And so I was impressed with that story and gave him the job. So don't underestimate the power of your story. Use it as the foundational piece. Dig into your story to find the wins, the achievements, the losses, the triumphs, the obstacles you overcame. All of that matters when it comes to selling yourself as a candidate on your resume, in your LinkedIn, in a cover letter, or in your interview. Your story is powerful, so own the power of your own story.